to start with the single leg march, and we'll do 3 positions or 3 options of that. So as we go through and I give instructions, choose the one that you should be doing now and go ahead and complete your set of 15 repetitions with that particular one. Here we go. Lying on the mat, setting up with your lower back down, nice and solid and bracing, and bringing your legs up one at a time and back down, other side and back down. Ideal hand position is up and out of your way so that you're not firing through the neck and the upper back, and alternate legs. So as I count that, right up and down, left up and down. I want to make sure that my knee is over my hip, but not too far in. The further in that goes, the more it does the work for me, so my core doesn't have to work quite as hard, and that's not what we want. So you're going to go up to 15, and then 2 minutes, if that comes first. So one or the other, 15 to 20 repetitions in 2 minutes, that's your goal. So that's option 1, and if you're challenged with that, I want you to stay right there and continue to do your set until that becomes easy. So your second option, or your progression, will be this one. I want you to take one leg up, take the other leg up, take your first leg down, and then your second leg down. Lower back stays tight, don't let go in between. First leg up, second leg up, first leg down, second leg down, and again, first leg up, second leg up, first leg down, second leg down. So a little more challenging, given that you don't have one foot on the floor to stabilize you in between. Choose your option. If you found the second version a little bit more challenging, couldn't quite complete them all, maybe without some real focus needed here, that's where you need to be. If you're still not quite challenged, those were both doable, even though you can feel the work. I want you to try this one and see how you do. Stabilize the lower back, bring one leg up at a time. Now this is your starting position. From here, we're going to lower down and lift up, lower down and lift up. Remember that your heels are touching, but you're not actually putting weight down on the floor, on that foot. That's an important thing to remember because it really changes whether or not you're working throughout or you're taking a little break in between. So keeping it tight and lift. And again, up to 15, right up 1, left up 1, on to the next set, and up, and then down, and up, and then feet down to recover, lower back relaxes. Second exercise. We're going to turn over and bring this into a hover. And I'm going to show you a hover with 2 versions. So I'm going to be on my forearms first and then on my knees. Make sure your shoulders are pulled away from your ears. Abdominals are hollowed out and tucked up, and then lifting. So you have a long line, ideally from the crown of my head down to my knees. I should be nice and straight. And then you're going to hold that, if you can, for up to 30 seconds. So if that's not going to happen today, start with repeats of 10 seconds and then come back up and do another repeat of it. So you're teaching the muscle to turn on when it relaxes, to turn on again, which is really important. When you're approaching the ball, you're doing some practice swings, you're doing your actual hitting of the ball. You turn it on, you release. You turn it on, you release. And in daily activities of life, the same thing is true. So that's very appropriate. A little more difficult version, toes under, and I'm actually coming up so my knees are off the floor. I'm on my forearms, and ideally my hips are in alignment with my heels and with my shoulders if I'm in a good spot here. So you want to make sure that you're not sagging and that also you're not coming up too high with the hips. So you want to make it work for you. Push back through the heels, solid through the forearms as you're holding that position, and then really tighten your thighs. The front of your thighs are your quadriceps. And release. So either 10-second repeats or 30 seconds. That's your goal. A variation of that hover is the side hover, and the reason being is a lot of rotational work, a lot of side bending happens in golf. So importantly, we need to train that. Elbow starts in a little too close for comfort. Front hand spots you just to make sure that you're okay with the shoulder and its fatigue level or its ability to stabilize you on that day. And that changes day to day. So make sure that you test it every time you do this exercise. I'm going to show you the long lever first. I can do options with my feet stacked one on top of each other or more in a scissor, which is going to give me a bigger base of support. So that's the way we're going to go today. Shoulders up and out, long neck, and then lift. Support of my hand, I'm going to check, shoulders okay, my hand's coming up to my hip. Holding on to that, 30 seconds. 30 seconds seems a lot longer in a side hover than it does in a front hover. So hold that idea and or do 10 seconds or do whatever you can with good technique. And then carefully let yourself down, and you want to repeat that one on the other side. So that gives you your single leg march, your front hover, your side hover, and then we go right into a bird dog on all fours. Make sure your knees are right under your hips, your palms are right underneath your shoulders, and that your back is in what we want to call neutral, so it's neither dipping through the center or rounding up, but it's fairly straight, so nice and tall, lifted in, and you're on to the core. From here, it's just an alternating arm and leg lift, and this one can take a little focus. There's a little balance there, but there is also a little balance associated with golf, shifting of the weight from side to side. Hitting, if you didn't land in a perfect lie, 1 foot elevated, 1 foot forward, trying to maneuver the sand. So this is very appropriate. So simply alternating sides, that could be enough work right now. A way to add difficulty would be to put on ankle and wrist weights, one or the other or both. And then last would be to extend and to add a drawing of a square, which becomes kind of a circle as you're doing it. But the idea is you're actually staying there long enough to maintain focus to make that turn. So the core has to work a little bit harder to stabilize you in that position. So that's 4 of our core exercises for daily use. We're going to give you a 5th optional one, only to use if you're really confident that you can handle it right now and your lower back is in really good shape. If you feel like you're a little vulnerable, you've got some prior injury risk and you know it, then leave this one out. But we'll go ahead and describe it. So starting, again in a lying position, hands will eventually be up and out of the way so we're not straining through the neck. When you bring your knees up, bring them one at a time. So bring them in and up, and then up toward the ceiling at the same time. Now, if you're already really tight through the hamstrings, your legs are probably not straight, and they may already be out here pulling on the lower back. That's a signal right there that this one is probably not for you, and don't worry about it. There's plenty of other things we can do. If you can do this one and you're going to attempt it, legs are straight and lower back down, and you're going to slowly lower the legs toward the floor only as long as you can keep that lower back down. And as soon as you feel it pop up, you're going to draw the knees in so that you're not risking that lower back as you draw them back up. Again, so do a few more if you've decided to do it, because right away, the signal you're sending from your brain to those muscles is already getting a little bit stronger. It just may not have been ever told to do that kind of an exercise, so it's a little foreign to it as far as what to do. And each time you do this, tomorrow or the next day, should get a little stronger. Bending your knees and just always playing it on the safe side. And legs come down. Finally, relaxing the muscles, and those are your daily core exercises for stabilization.